Hi everybody, George Pelayo. Today we're going to talk about the benefits of accountability. Point number one, it holds you accountable to what you say you're going to do. Oftentimes we don't want to put our goals and dreams out there or our commitments out there because if we don't accomplish them, then we can be safe, right? You can fail safely. When you say you're going to do something, if you don't do it, then other people are going to ask you, hey, what happened to that? I thought you said you were going to do that. And we don't want that accountability from other people. But when you want to accomplish something, tell everybody that you're going to do it. Tell the world you're going to do it. Because on the days you don't feel like doing it, which is point number two, it influences positive action when you don't feel like doing it. Oftentimes when you set a goal, you're inspired, and there's going to be days you're not inspired, but you need to execute. And that accountability of, man, I said I was going to do this, that can get you out of bed. That can get you to push harder. That can get you to be consistent. And your word, guys, is so powerful that when you tell somebody something, you want to make sure that you're honoring the things that you're saying. When I tell my wife something that, hey, we're gonna get this done as a family. I'm gonna get this done for you, babe. I want her to be able to take it to the bank. That safety, that security. When I tell our team something, I want them to know that, man, if George said it, it's gonna happen. I want that credibility, that my word carries weight. And so accountability, you saying that, you making those statements, you making those declarations, those goals, saying that we're going to do 365 subject videos. We're going to do 3 shorts a day. You saying that, you putting it out to the audience, what it does is it forces you to do that, forces you to follow through on the things that matter to you, right? Point number 3, it forces you to examine your limiting beliefs and your capacity. So maybe you don't think that you can do something. I'll give you an example. I said, hey, I'm going to go run a marathon. And I hate running. I don't run. At that time, I probably can't even run a mile under 15 minutes, 12 minutes. I don't know. I hadn't timed myself. That's how bad it was when I said, I'm going to go run a marathon. And I tell everybody, I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to run a marathon. And I remember I was having sushi with I think it was Zan. And I'm having sushi. And he says, so did you commit to the date, right? Because I said, hey, I'm going to run a marathon. Well, when's the date? Well, man, you know what? I got to find one. Okay, well, then why don't we find it right now? Boom, sign up for LA Marathon, okay? Or at that time, it was Bakersfield Marathon. And man, now I got to go work out. Now I got to go run. Now I got to start training, and I hate running. But I did it because I wanted to build a muscle in something that I don't like, because I think that that's important in life, is to be able to execute in areas that maybe you are not your natural preferences. I also wanted to break a limiting belief to myself, because I don't think I can run that long. I don't even think I can run 2-3 miles. How am I going to do 26.2 miles? That's a limiting belief. Or, man, I really want to get in shape, best shape of my life. Well, I've never been in great shape. Man, that's a limiting belief. Man, I'm going to get a 6-pack. Man, I don't know if I can. I'm just kind of chubby. This is how I've always been. Man, I don't think that I have the same gene. All this crap that we tell ourselves, right? When you say you're going to do something, that accountability, it forces you to now have to execute. And in executing, you're processing. Can I do this? And you're confronted with these limiting beliefs. You're confronted with it. Hey, you know what? I can't right now, but I can make progress. And then what starts to happen is that you realize that you can make progress in anything if you're consistent with it. And so when I finished that marathon, 26.2 miles, my body broke a long time ago, way before the finish line. But my spirit is what kept me going. And that's what accountability can do. People drastically undermine and undervalue the power that accountability can play in your life to help you accomplish those goals that you have. Hey, you know what? I'm going to go build a business. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to make it, right? I would tell my dad and my mom when I was younger, man, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make 6 figures, right? Well, you now said that. Now you're like, man, I don't know if I can make 6 figures. I've never made $100,000 before. I've never done this before. Well, now you're having to ask, well, how can I get it done? And what do I need to do to get it done? So that statement, man, anytime you put your goals and your dreams out there to people, it's so powerful. And what you'll find as you examine your own belief system is that there are limitations that you place on yourself, but you can break those when you're consistent if you want it bad enough. Point number 4, it gets you to do more than you naturally would do. When I'm at the gym with my trainer, that extra 20, 30%, that additional weight, that additional rep, finishing that additional core exercise, that additional cardio, those additional sit-ups, that extra band, the extra banded push-ups, right? That extra weight that he puts on, I naturally wouldn't do that by myself. So when you have an accountability partner, when you have accountability from a trainer, a mentor, any area of your life where you have accountability, you're gonna do more than you naturally would do by yourself. Point number 5, it provides a different perspective. When you have somebody else that's helping you accomplish your goal, they're gonna see that situation from a different lens. They have a different life, they have a different experience. Maybe it's a different culture, maybe it's a different age, maybe they've been in different businesses before, maybe they've had this challenge, maybe they've dealt with other people and they've coached that person through those same challenges. And so that's why I believe in investing in a coach and consulting and mentoring in events, in conferences. And I was having a conversation with a friend who's also a consultant, and I said, hey, I'm gonna go into this meeting. This is how what I'm thinking. These are my 7 scenarios that I believe can happen and what I'm planning on doing. And he says, okay, let me hear him out. So I share with him. Then afterwards, he says, are you open to feedback? I said, yeah. He says, would you be open to some alternative ideas that maybe you haven't thought about? I said, of course I am. Ends up asking me questions that changed the entire direction of that meeting. Without that one conversation, that would have went completely different. That's the power of processing a goal or challenge with somebody else. And also, if I don't have a consultant, if I don't have that relationship, if I'm not seeking that direction out, and also somebody to hold me accountable to those goals, I would have never had that person to process with. So the challenge is that a lot of people don't have somebody to process with because they're not investing in mentorship. They're not investing in accountability. They're not investing in a coach. It's a big issue because you look at it as a cost. It says instead of an investment. And the greatest investment that you're ever gonna make in this world is in your identity. I'll give you another example of this. I say I want to read the Bible. I'm really going to grow my faith this year, but I have a hard time reading the Bible. I fall asleep reading this book, even though I want to read it. And I want to learn it. I want to understand it. And he says, why don't you do the Bible app? Why don't you do an audio? Why don't you read a book on faith? Why don't you maybe read a book on how to be a better husband from a Christian author? Why don't you find a different solution to this? So I go look up, there's a 365-day Bible reading app, audio version on the Bible app. And I'm on day 200 right now. But that's simple. Sometimes it's not complicated. Sometimes that different perspective is actually so simple. And it doesn't have to be hard. And that's a big mistake right there. So make sure that you have other people that are helping you accomplish your goal to give you different perspectives. Point number 6, it shortens the process. If you can go through life and take 20 years to do something, or you can borrow the wisdom from somebody that's already done it for 20 years, guys, you're gonna get there faster. When I got started in the insurance business, I knew nothing about sales, leadership, marketing, but I got around people that were $250,000, $500,000, $1 million earners, people that were worth 20, 30, 40, $50 million that had been in the business for 20, 30 years already. And that changed my life because I was able to get the vision, get the understanding, get the systems and the tools that they use to get to where they are. And you don't have an unlimited amount of time in this world. So it's super important that you get the right coaching, the right accountability, because it'll save you years of your life. And lastly, number 7, it builds self-confidence. When you say you're gonna do something and you do it, and you keep your word to yourself and you keep your word to others, there's a pride in that can't be bought, it has to be earned. So hope this video helped you understand the benefits of accountability. And what I would challenge you to do is look at what goals and what dreams that you have, and then ask yourself, who is holding you accountable in each one of those areas? What's that look like? And can you increase the accountability so that you can accomplish that goal faster? Please share your comments, subscribe, share this video if you think it'll add value to other people, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Take care, everybody.